All right, we are live. Coin Vault crew coming back at you. We're kicking things off right away with the super chat from Chris. He don't waste no time. Coming right in with that 7 herbs and spices, Macho Man elbow drop. Let's get it. XDC is one of the most affordable blue chips. If I was to balance my portfolio with it, knowing it's not as popular as HBAR, etc., couldn't it be reasoned as a 222 Corda and RWA affiliate? It could be $1 next bull run. Interesting question. I don't know if I would personally I like XDC as a project, right? Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if I would call a project with a $539 million market cap a blue chip, per se. It's a great utility play, but blue chips are usually, top, 20.
Yeah, usually blue chip's much larger, like a Solana or even a SUI. I consider a SUI blue chip.
Yeah.
Yeah. XCC is definitely not there yet. Even it's a solid project, but really by chip, you have to go by market cap, so Bitcoin's a blue chip or Ethereum or XRP, and this because the market cap.
Yeah. Corda and RW affiliate that it could see $1. Do I think it could see $1? Well, it's 2 cents right now, almost 3 cents. Previous all-time high, 19 cents.
I mean, doing a 5x of a previous all-time high is kind of like unheard of in crypto. Like, you can have a good bull run, but it's not like a lot of projects do 5x's of their all-time high in a single bull market. So I doubt that would happen. But if something like 2x is from its all-time high, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah. We're really divisive on XDC. I clear here. But anyway, go ahead, Rue.
Oh, well, I wonder what this XDC specialize in. I know they had the whole thing with Solana and R3 Corda. So is Solana now getting in on their exclusivity with R3? We look at something like ZEBEC, maybe they specialize in payroll where nothing else does that. My question to you guys would be, okay, is XCC have some special like kind of moat that it can take advantage of, or is it just one of many?
I could talk to you guys about XDC for 3 hours straight. This is one of the most underrated, unappreciated coins out there. So recently I came out with a Bank for International Settlements document, not me, but I was citing them, and they literally explain XDC to the T, like to the T. I analyze all sorts of things, like look at XDC's use case, match it up with what Bank for International Settlements was describing. It literally was to the T of what XDC is. And this is something I also addresses, like there's FUD, because people will see the whole thing of basically like Solana, and they're like, oh, well, it's clear that, R3 chose Solana. So that all of a sudden just dismisses the XRP that was gifted to R3. That all of a sudden dismisses the R3 XDC, bridge. No, it's just another option. It's funny. We were just having this discussion backstage about, we call it like island hopping or whatever. You know what I mean? Crux, you could probably elaborate on that. But no, to me, I mean, I get it. Like, we're all researched up on what we're researched up on. This, in my opinion, out of the 8 ISO 222 compliant cryptocurrencies, people do jump into this. They look at it as it's the one that they can get the most of, and it's going to have one of the most highest potential. I have XDC actually tied at number 4 with HBAR, and I have my own reasons for that. But let me just read this a little bit more. So yeah, I would agree it's one of the most affordable blue chips. It's not currently a blue chip. To be fair with what they're saying, not to step on any toes, but Crux, Rob, and Rue. So I get the reference of, yeah, it's not currently a blue chip, future blue chip, absolutely. If I add it to my balance, my portfolio with it, knowing it's not as popular, can it be a reason with see $1 next bull run? I don't know if we see $1 next bull run. $1 on that is, I mean, even 80 cents would be considered like really, really insane for that. But I think this one is also going to be a household name. I'll state this, right? I don't expect you to jump from one platform to the other, but Chris, you owe it to yourself. A while back, I did a deep dive on XDC. Literally, it was chosen by UK Parliament. There's some significance in that. Rue and I are obviously into symbolism. And one of the main things is, like, we talk about ZEBEC, we talk about ships and stuff like that. We talk about maritime trade. The core fundamentals of XDC is when you talk about electronic bills of lading, like, we're going to go from the era of just these stupid JPEGs. They're tied to NFTs, right? Where Bored Ape Yacht Club and whatnot. Now, XDC is literally a maritime standard, and the documents show that. And of course, there's a search 101 that mentions specifically XDC from UK Parliament for maritime trade. It's an absolute future juggernaut. As far as like, is it going to take off tomorrow? Probably not, right? A dollar next bull run, I'm going to lean towards no. I could be completely wrong on that, but if I'm going to state that XRP and XLM are the future quote unquote blue chip / household names, this one is also going to be a household name. There's just too much there when it comes to that specific sector. I wish I could splash it on the screen. This is not something that we do, I guess, apparently today, but I did a recent XDC deep dive. So I think that came out last week, I want to say. And again, just go to the video. You can see some of that. So I would say two videos. Huh?
Show it on your channel there, like, so that it's easy to find when they go over to your channel.
Yeah, I'll just I'll drop you a couple links in the chat. Thank you, sir.
Got another one here. The body, the black, the crux, floating head of wisdom. Crypto is here. Let's go. My guy, Ben. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We got, I'm going to go through these real quick. We got Elon Musk in the house as well. Where is he at? We got Throbbing Lantern. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Where did Elon go? There he is. My guy. Elon hanging out, chilling.
Good to see old Elon Musk getting in some heated debates with Sebastian over on X, but that's okay.
Usually we leave that up to Rue, arguing with people on the internet.
Wait, what? I don't argue with people. Take that back right now.
Dare you.
I was debating getting into a couple arguments on X lately. One of them, I was actually thinking about calling out Charles Hoskinson, but I ain't gonna do it. I'm kind of dialing back on this one. So
Charles,
that would be interesting.
It would. So what happened is this whole roadmap thing, it started getting put out there. So Vitalik Buterin comes out. He's like, Ethereum in 3 years, we're going to do this, that, the third. We'll have blobs. Throughput will be fixed. You won't have to rely heavily on the L2s. And also we're going to EU TXOs. And then Charles is like, well, I've been doing this for 10 years. Like, and he's just going at it right now with Vitalik. And I'm just like, well, you're just now bringing Laos, which is parallel throughput, into your network. And right now it's in testnet. It's like Musashi Dojo testnet on Cardano. And to me, it's like, well, now we have decentralized or direct acyclic graphs like Caspa, and these things are way faster than blockchains. So it's like, you are far behind there. So where's your, so like everybody's far behind. This is a revolutionary asset class. And there's always going to be a new winner in the space.
You're gonna set Charles off, man. That man can explode.
I mean, he's a lot smarter than I am, but I got to be honest. Like Cardano's pretty far behind in a lot of areas. So,
just to double check, Chris, that only came from your channel, right?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's why I said share it on screen so he can see it. So when he
I did. Oh, okay. Well, you won't get the link anyway. I'll just make a new tab and go over yours. No worries.
Big Kev says, Hello, CoinVault crew and Crux. The bottom range is in. Buying now is like shopping with coupons. And I love a discount. Let's go. Tomorrow's millionaires are buying now. Not financial advice, just my own opinion. You know what? I did a Patreon live at about 6 o'clock today, and we were talking about one of my members, and I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit because it represents what you can do when you're getting in at the bottom of a bear market, right? Now, I'm not going to say the person's name. She knows who she is, so shout out to her. She's been with me since before I had a Patreon, since I first started my channel, almost 4 years. She's been with me. One of my first subscribers on YouTube, and she's come so far, so far. The first 2 years was rocky. Like emotional, one of the most emotional crypto investors you've ever seen. Like constantly, so she was emailing me. We were emailing back then, and just needed reassurance all the time. And she'll laugh at me saying that when she watches this. But I just always needed that reassurance that she was moving in the right direction. And I think she started with about 25 grand. And throughout the course, since she had been with me, with all the calls that we had been making over on the Patreon, over on our member side on YouTube and stuff like that over the years, again, she started with like 20 to 25. She told me today in a coaching call that had she sold everything at the prices like when I told her to, right, throughout the cycle, she would have walked away with $5.5 million.
Dang.
That's crazy. Yeah.
She didn't sell where she should have on everything. She admittedly said that, but clearly still walked away very, very well off compared to where she started in the cycle. So when we were talking today, she was starting a fresh portfolio now for this cycle. And, so she was excited, like, let's go here. What should my base be? How should I start building this out? So we're putting a plan in place and stuff like that. But the point in it is, guys, she came in right at the bottom of the last cycle. Timing was fantastic because most people come in at the top of a cycle, right? I mean, I did. I'm sure most of you guys did too, right? So first cycle, you buy the top. It's tradition. But, she came in at the bottom. And that's what you can do when you're accumulating and you're taking profits along the way and you're finding good projects. We're talking like Jasmine was a big return for her, XCN, ZEBEC, TARS AI did really good for her, like all these calls. And it was just like, boom, sell, move it over here, boom, sell, right? Like patience and consistency. And that's why I try to tell people right now, especially you people who are here right now. Oh, what you mean, you people who are buying in the bottom of a bear market? You guys are going to be the winners when it's all said and done if you're consistent and you're patient. And you're not loading up on meme coins. Right?
I agree. The people that are paying attention to crypto right now are most likely going to make it. So
exactly. Everyone who comes in later, they think that, I'll just walk away for a while. I'll come back when things start pumping and I'll make money then. They're your exit liquidity to everyone listening right now. That's what they are, right? Because it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, unfortunately. Now, I will say, I do think we will go into a forever market going into 2029. I think that's when we break like the 4-year cycle pattern. And this time is different. It's finally hitting my vocabulary. And that utility run / like the super cycle, whatever you want to call it, is going to transcend how we have to think about crypto. So people coming in 3 years, they may not be buying a top because we're just going to keep going after that. But up until this point, I mean, it's proven.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's funny, I talked about that earlier this afternoon in a video too. And I gave you a shout out in the video just saying like, we've been talking a lot, you and I, about how it's very possible the 4-year cycle breaks this time. And I was referencing the fact that people always ask me why I say I never sell my Bitcoin. I just ride it up and I continue to accumulate. I ride it all the way back down to the bottom of the bear market, and then I ride it back up, especially now. And the reason for that is, like you just said, there's the the chance continues to increase that we don't come back down 70% again. That's not saying that Bitcoin won't have and crypto won't have bear markets anymore. Even the stock market does, but it just won't be based on the 4-year cycle anymore. And the corrections might not be as large. So why would I sell something that is essentially, metaphorically, a forever appreciating asset like land that we're continuing to move closer and closer in terms of adoption to being able to use it as a financial tool. If I need to be liquid, I can take out a Bitcoin backed loan. I can take out a Bitcoin backed mortgage, and I still own the underlying asset. Why would I ever sell it?
And another thing you could throw on top of that is, at one point, like let's just say in the next 5 years, 10 years, Bitcoin could be legal tender. So you don't have to pay the 30% capital gain on it. So there's a lot of reasons to buy this thing and just hold on indefinitely.
Yep, absolutely. Ben dropping more cheddar says Crux versus Hoskinson would be a great opener for Rob versus Hulk.
What do you mean verse? Look. There's a lot of things. Is it soccer? Is it UFC? How are we going to do this?
Ladder match.
If we do the chalkboard, he's going to tear me up. But
how about we have a tag match?
Ladder match, yeah.
Oh, TLC. Tables, ladders, chairs.
Yeah. Oh boy. We're getting crazy. Oh, we got another one. Shook's in the house.
Hey, Shook focus.
Big tops. Big things topping, little things stopping. Absolutely.
Good to see Shook.
He can't be shook because ain't no such thing as
halfway crooks.
Yeah, there it is. All right. So, we got another one. Look at that. We're going crazy today. Big Kev dropping more. It says, good news. I'm going to win big this cycle. Bad news. Bad news, Rob, is I have even more projects than I had last time we talked. Oh, my goodness. Thanks to Rue. Blame it on Rue.
Well, island
hey, you're welcome. You're welcome.
They're island hopping.
We talked about kind of downsizing the portfolio a little bit because it's getting a little bit crazy. Yes, we have more now, Kev. You're a beast, man. Way to go, Rue.
Yeah.
It's wild. I dropped this 16 coin portfolio, and I'm not gonna lie, like I think it's good. It's like the if I wanted 10x again, I'm going in with these 16 picks. Bitcoin all the way to the low caps. And man, like there's so many different good cryptocurrencies out there that I can't add to the portfolio. So people are going to be upset. I get it. Everybody likes that one project that didn't make the list, but there's no 16 plays that all 4 of us would hold in our own portfolio that are the exact same. So we understand why you guys may have a couple different picks.
I watched that show, Crux, and you didn't put Safe Moon on the list.
Oh, hey, a couple of them I forgot. Like I should have probably kicked Canton out and put Safe Moon. Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
No, I'm just kidding.
No Squid Games coin? What's up with that?
Squid. Hey. What about
Thank you to Elon Musk for the $2 super chat. He says a little floating head never hurt anyone. That is correct. It is right.
I watched that show. It was a good show, guys. Definitely check out that show from Crux. It was a good show.
The show from Crux, not the floating head. Yes.
Yeah, I did a live stream and I did also a portfolio video. So there's like 2 different ones, but one of them, 10x portfolio. Let's get it. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that I do those videos sometimes too. I'm like, at the beginning of every month, I'll do a video that's like top 3 RWA plays for June or whatever, right? And I did last month. I did top 10 or top 5 blue chip, like high cap RWA plays or whatever. And there's always someone there that's like, well, what about this project? And then it's some like small cap, and I'm like, the title specifically says like high cap, But like you said, there's always someone who's mad that their project, and we don't do that to offend. Mm-hmm. We're just looking at projects. We're looking at where they're at in terms of utility price, the potential of the run, and we're just, it's not a personal attack on any project that's not named. But ICP people are bad for that. Right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Carlton, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate it. And welcome everybody that's in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yo, what up, Carl?
Carlton dropped a second $2 super chat as well. So thank you so much, my guy. He actually dropped a third.
Dang.
My guy's all over the place. He's on
That's
every
that
channel.
Caspa. Hey, Carl, he holds Caspa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got Nosy Neighbor. I don't know whose channel that is. Max, whose channel is
That's
that?
probably my channel.
Yeah, that's
Shout out.
there you go.
Shout out Nosy Neighbor, one of the root crew. XRP will be 4 digits by the end of 2027. Willing to bet my entire let's say portfolio if I'm wrong, but I won't be. When institutions see the returns, they will flood the market. Nice. Nosy Neighbor with the huevos.
Yes.
Grandes to start the stream here.
Max and I just dropped a banger on that, actually. We actually gave our price predictions on XRP. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. If I would have told your audience what I really think it's going to go to, I think they just would have clicked off. I saw some of the people like, how I can't believe you, Crux. How could you have somebody like this on your channel talking about some of this stuff? You just lost all your, valid reasons to cover cryptocurrency.
Yeah. I'm all about bringing perspectives in. I'm bringing perspectives across the board. I just interviewed Scott earlier, so I'm bringing Chance on to next week.
Right.
It's all about bringing reliable people that understand projects better than you. Like Max, he understands some of these projects better than I do, so of course I'm gonna bring you on.
Indeed.
Well, I appreciate that, and that also works your way too. There's probably some things that you probably understand a heck of a lot more. The bottom line is for everybody that's tuned in, there's not one single guy here that knows like everything there is about everything. Like when we claim that we know everything, then maybe that's the time you need to tune out. Be like, man, screw this guy with the floating head. You don't know what the heck he's talking about or something like that. Because no single person knows everything. Like even when we're 80 plus years old, we're always trying to gain wisdom. Just because you become old doesn't mean you lose your wisdom. You're always learning.
Indeed.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Excuse me. Yeah, so how about that crypto, guys? How about that crypto? I wanted to get into something that Crux you had mentioned off camera about the reasons that crypto could fail, or if we did hypothetically, because you had a very valid point.
Yeah.
So let's scare the shit out of some people, right?
Yeah. All right. So this isn't a FUD thing. This is like, let's all get together and let's actually think. So Ethereum, it came to be, it brought smart contracts. It brought a whole new wave to what peer-to-peer networks were, which Bitcoin really got spurred. Now at that point, it's like, all right, well, then we bring XRP. This is kind of like Bitcoin 2.0. It's faster, it's cheaper. And they switch out a couple things. And then we get this other network. Eventually we get forks like Dogecoin. And then eventually we go down to the areas of we got like streaming payments and all these other use cases in crypto. I say this because there's so many different networks like BNB token that has very few advantages over something like a Solana, for example. So all of these networks, for the most part, are starting to copy and paste. We get the new MoNat that comes out of nowhere. This network's not going to do anything no other network can do. What about Sui? Sui's doing the same thing Solana can do. So it's kind of like every now and then you'll get something that brings something new to the table. Like instead of a blockchain, you'll have a directed acyclic graph. So this is big. But in order to evolve an asset class, you have to stop copy and pasting and you have to innovate. And I don't think we do enough innovating, and I don't think we do enough supporting. So instead of putting our money into Ethereum, we're going to do all of the competitors to Ethereum, which are the L2s. So a lot of people think they can just launch a L2 like Robinhood, whether it's like to support Arbitrum or whoever. And it's like, why don't you just use the main chain of Ethereum? And I get it. It's a little expensive, but that money goes to the people that are running the nodes. So you're supporting your nodes. And I think we do too much just like tribalism. And eventually we get all these projects that people invested 2 cycles ago. They went to zero. We forgot about them and we want the new thing. So if crypto is too big to if crypto ever does fail, It's because we stopped like paying attention to the quality, and we just wanted to get rich by investing in the new thing. So,
well,
there's a lot. There's a lot in what you just said there.
It is, yeah.
Well, I'll try to take one thing at a time. So, like Sui, for instance, right? They and Aptos built that Move language.
Right.
So, like, they have a whole new language, and now you got to get developers that use Move. Canton, they use the DAML language, which is like a version of Haskell, which, you know, other than Cardano, who uses Haskell, right? So it's like, I get why Robinhood would use Arbitrum. You know, it's more, you know, Ethereum, Solidity. Like, you got all of those issues going around. Like, okay, you try to innovate, but then now you're stuck with, okay, where are the Haskell developers? Where are the Move developers? You're probably better off just using Solidity or something Ethereum based and going in that direction. But then you have a project like Zenith, which makes it very much easier to work on Canton and ETH. And they did some combination. I think they use like Rust on their stuff, which there are probably a lot more Rust developers than there are Haskell or Move. So really interesting there. But then you look at some of the older projects, you kind of like, nobody wants to say this, but what if some of them have run out of money, right? Like, I don't believe that in the case with something like, you know, XRP and Stellar. I think they've been very responsible. Like, you know, those I don't have any doubt in. But you look at something like what happened to Axelar, where, you know, Circle just bought out their team and just left the coin, right? But there were so many things hooked up to Axelar with like Wormhole and things like that. So there are a lot of things to consider. But I don't know. I think all the money seems to be on Ethereum. So I like what Canton's doing by making it like real easy with Zenith to just do Zenith and kind of Canton as if it was like the same network. And I think things like that moving forward, like how Metallicus just has a bolt-on solution for banks to just use their stuff, but not change what they, you know, what they already have. They just add to it, right? I think things like that are going to win out in the long run.
I'm going to chime in here real quick, guys, because I don't want to fall behind on the super chats. We got Exit Flip dropping in, says, is Sailor playing chess? Sell the remaining approved Bitcoin, trigger panic? Then, no, I think that now Crux and I, again, we've talked about this. I think in the last live stream we did together over on my channel. I think that you're going to see a lot of this moving forward, guys, as we see more and more companies put Bitcoin on their balance sheets and stuff. What happens is you're going to see them as a whole continue to accumulate and hodl for the long haul, and they're probably not going to sell, but you are going to see them sell small amounts to keep the lights on and stuff like that. That's just normal. That's the same kind of activity that Bitcoin miners are doing. It's kind of the same thing, right? They're paying their dividends, whatever. They're metaphorically keeping the lights on. So they'll sell 3,000 Bitcoin, but they hold 826,000. They're not going to sell the bulk of that. I wouldn't say. And you're going to see more and more companies start to do that. And for me, that bleeds into the video I made this afternoon talking about how I believe we're going to come to a time where you're not going to be able to just go on an exchange and buy Satoshis anymore. You're basically going to be put on a wait list or something like that because no one's selling them and they're just not available. More Bitcoin still, I believe, even in a bear market, more Bitcoin is being bought than is being mined. When that happens, I mean, it's just simple math. Eventually, it's not going to be any to buy. Exchanges are going to run dry. OTC desks are going to run dry because companies like Strategy and Metaplanet are scooping it all up and they're going to hold it. They'll sell a little bit here and there to keep the lights on. So I think that's what's happening. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree with you, Rob, and I agree with the poster here. I think that Michael Saylor is playing chess. Like, people feel like he's like the most hated person in crypto right now because he's selling Bitcoin, and right? And I think that's just going to drive the price down. And what is he going to do? Just come in and scoop it up, like smart money always does. When the prices go down low, they just come in and scoop it up and be ready for 2027.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think he's playing chess as well. I know that it maybe ruffles some feathers, but it is what it is. I mean, you know, it's like people attack Ripple with the whole escrow thing, you know, but it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's BTC, it doesn't matter if it's Ripple. These guys are going to do what they need to do. As the saying goes, to have a working operation, and that's just the way it is.
All right. My take, I think he's in a little too deep. So not to FUD, but I don't think MicroStrategy is going to go under. I think the liquidation price is much, much lower, closer to about 10,000 or so. But I do think that he did borrow. He probably leveraged a little too much. This STRC has depegged, and he needed to figure it out. He got approved to sell 1.2 billion or 1.2 billion dollars worth of the Bitcoin, and he sold like 215 the other day, and it brought it from like 63 down to 61 before I think Trump accounts got announced, and then it pumped right back up. But anyways, going back to the MicroStrategy thing, he still has like 80% of it still to sell. STRC is getting closer to repegging. We will see. Most likely he'll sell more. But I think something to consider is this guy, like Michael Saylor in particular, at first he was against Bitcoin, and then he joined Team Bitcoin. And then he said, everything is a security, including XRP. They're all securities. Ban them. So he was anti-crypto. And then eventually, whenever Bitcoin hit escape velocity, he said, all right, you could buy Bitminer or Ethereum. And it's like, dude, like you clearly only cared about your bags. So he's not pro crypto. I think he is kind of pro Bitcoin, but at the end of the day, this is a leveraged position. He's a CEO that lost 99.9% of his company back at the .com bubble. And this company is down 80% at this point, MicroStrategy. Maybe like 75 at this point. We'll see. So do I have trust in him as a CEO? I think he's doing the riskiest thing that I've ever seen. Most likely the riskiest bet in human history. The dude has 850,000 Bitcoin. He could one day be the wealthiest person alive, at least own the wealthiest company. If Bitcoin does get to $1 million+ then you do the math. It's going to be bigger than Microsoft, Amazon, Google, SpaceX, all of it. So very risky. But I don't want to FUD people out and tell them to go sell their MicroStrategy or sell Bitcoin because of it. But I do think we have lower because he still has $1 billion worth of Bitcoin that he can sell at any time.
Thank you for that, Rob. I know that you got quite a few more super chats to catch up on. Thank you guys so much for blessing us, all of our channels with this. It means a lot.
One Armed Bandit says, what we're building for only happens in time. And we're front running everyone. Stand strong. Yes, that's exactly right. If you truly believe in this asset class as a whole, then it shouldn't be a stretch to think that we could get to a market cap similar to the stock market, for example, the S&P 500. And if you believe that, like I do, then we're in very early. 2.5 trillion to 72 trillion. Are you kidding me? Right now? So take what we have right now in this asset class and add 70 trillion on top of it. Right? So you're absolutely right. Does not guarantee that's going to happen. But again, if you believe in the asset class like I do, if you believe it's not going anywhere like I do, then it's not an argument. Then it's not really a stretch, in my opinion. Whose channel is that, Max?
Probably my channel.
Yeah.
What's up, D? That's only another Root Crew member. Thanks for these helpful sessions. Indeed. You're welcome. No problem.
I think that's you as well, Rue.
I'm right. I'm right for the same reasons that Max and Jesse were getting silenced on XRP. They were silenced, and definitely I suggest everyone check out the video in which got taken down. Max, like how many views did you guys get the first day you put that video out before it was taken down?
I don't know, 25,000, something like that.
Like, and this video was taken down like for no good reason. But Max posted it on his X account, so definitely go check that video out, guys. Thanks for mentioning that.
I'm sorry, it did go viral on X. I think it was close to 300,000 impressions, not views, impressions on X. I don't know how they view that, but thank you for pointing it out. Anyway.
So yeah, definitely thanks for pointing that out, nosy neighbor. Like, you guys should definitely go check that video out if you guys truly want to understand XRP. And I'm sorry, I didn't finish it.
Too bad.
And XRP will bail out countries, LOLR. It's an in-game tech. This will be in place by 2030. And there's the whole 2030 agenda if you want to put your hat on there, which
that abbreviation
over to.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That abbreviation was the lender of last resort. But yeah, you're 100%. Anyway.
Isaac, my guy, Lickitung, first Pokemon of the stream. Got to catch them all. Says, what's up, fellas? My first 5 projects I'm building are Solana, Wallet Connect, ZEBEC, Monad, Plume, and Avantis. I think I'm setting myself up for success with these. I got to say, Isaac, I tend to agree with you, my friend. There's not a project in that lineup that I have a problem with.
I like Solana, ZEBEC, Monad. Well, I mean, this is 6 plays, so if you're just asking for the top 5 of those 6, I'd probably go Solana, ZEBEC, Monad, Plume, and Avantis. I don't know enough about Wallet Connect. Could you go into? I don't know if anybody knows anything about that, but the other 5,
we have been covering it on the Coin Vault in our individual channels. But go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I know that Canton said that it was like instrumental for them as far as like institutions go to add Wallet Connect, and that really just opened my eyes up to it.
Sure.
Not only that, Wallet Connect has the privacy that is obviously needed. So obviously we know about Canton in regard to the focus on privacy. So like you have a wallet, you have that aspect, but in the wallet form. So it's kind of like, it just simply makes sense that they have that integration, along with many other projects have that integration too.
Now, at this point in time, their token is just governance, but all it takes is just one little proposal, and they can flip that into, more than just governance.
Yeah. And I think the market cap, for me, I like the risk to reward on it as well. I think it's going to do some pretty good returns in this cycle. So melt some faces. Isaac drops another one. He says, Rob, I want to thank you for helping me through my journey. I'm looking forward to making the big gains alongside you this cycle. Yes, absolutely, brother. Isaac's been with me for a few years now as well. OG on the channel. Thank you so much, Isaac, for always standing by my side and enjoying this crypto journey with me, man. I appreciate you, brother. Uncle Duck. Hey, Max. Rob, Rue, Crux, XCN has been making some changes. Would love to see some future videos on it if possible. Yamaha. I know it's you, Yamaha, because of the guitar in your picture.
Oh, Yamaha Pacifica. I remember you. Yeah.
Just one thing to let people know, we covered this on my Patreon too. They changed the staking for the Ethereum part where it's only 10% now. So if you guys really want the 27% staking, you have to move it over to Onyx. So anybody just be aware of that.
Yeah, I talked about that on my Patreon the other day too, because people were asking. It's to explain it as simply as I can. Essentially, they have their own layer 1 network now, so they don't want people staking on Ethereum. So to incentivize people to stake on their network, they lowered the yield to, what was it, 7% or something 10%. Like that? 10%, but it's like 25 to 27% over on their networks.
Yep.
Yeah, so you have to go over to their network and stake there. You'll get your high yield back. So it's just to make people use their network. It's smart business, right? Tanel Harris says, I only hold 376,000 CASPA, 7 million ZEBEC. Honest thoughts. That's a lot of CASPA.
It's a good amount, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering what your entry, like what your average cost is on it. But and 7 million ZEBEC. I like it. I like both of those projects. I like the size of each bag. That's what she said. But I would start to diversify a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the diversification piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, the diversification, like these are two speculative projects. Caspa, I like, but it's speculative. ZEBEC, I like, it's speculative. Like you should probably start veering more towards the Ethereums, the Solanas, Bitcoins that are less speculative. Even though they are good projects again, but there is a reason the market caps are much higher on these other projects.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of portfolio structure teaching over on the Patreon, and I say you've got three choices. You've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana as your base for your portfolio. And for me, for example, every time I buy Bitcoin, I'm not going to tell you everything because it's Patreon, but whenever I DCA, a little bit of Bitcoin, whether it's 10% of what I'm putting in that day or whatever, Bitcoin is the base for my portfolio. People who feel that Bitcoin is not going to give them enough ROI because they have smaller budgets or whatever, I personally believe Solana is a great sub as a base for your portfolio.
Also, the more you have into something, like if you're a multimillionaire, don't like have, well, you shouldn't be having like these riskier projects as the base. Like if I got $3, $4, $5 million, Bitcoin's clearly the base. Even though I'd still believe in those other two. But if I only have like maybe $3,000 and I'm investing, I'm not holding Bitcoin or Ethereum. I'm just going Solana as my base. So I think that would be something to consider.
Yeah. D. Curry, I'm still wondering what you meant by you people. Hey, what you mean, you people?
Well, that's fine, man.
Shout out to Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean, you people?
I mean, let's just be honest. That is the last film before. I mean, that was before solidifying. Like, this is the nail in the coffin for cancel culture. That was the movie, right? Anyway.
Yeah. You can't do that no more. You can't do
no.
the Chappelle show where Dave Chappelle's in whiteface. No, you can't do that anymore.
People lost their sense of humor.
Drewski's doing a couple things over there.
Oh, you know what? That's right. Drewski was in whiteface. That's crazy. Okay, I take that back.
He's starting to, ruffle some feathers, and I like it.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder with Robert Downey Jr. in blackface, which I thought was great, by the way. I love it.
Yeah. It's comedy,
I thought I saw an interview. Was it? It was Joe Rogan, I think, where Robert Downey Jr. was on there, and he asked him if he thought he could get away with doing it today. He's like, no chance.
Yeah, bro did that today, it would be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. Would Iron Man be strong enough reputation-wise to pull it off?
Oh, my God. If he was in the Iron Man suit as that character from Tropic Thunder, I would pay for that 3 times to watch that movie.
Speaking of which, not to get off topic, I'm really looking forward to Avengers Doomsday later this year. I'm a big Marvel guy, so I'm a big Marvel guy.
Indeed, same.
Crux is like, this ain't Crux of Marvel. Get back to crypto, Rob.
Like, I don't know if you guys seen on, I think it's Hulu, they have the X-Men 97 series. Oh man, it's classic. From the classic X-Men 97 cartoon from 1997. So sweet.
Yeah. Elon Musk says whiteface is aight, but no neck floating head is way better.
100 floating head. That's funny.
100%.
All right. In reality, okay, I'm gonna come clean right now. All right. Why am I just a floating head? Because it was so hot in Phoenix today. I sent these guys a text message, not Crux, but maybe you can be included in the future group chain. But anyway, I said around noon, I said, what's up with this 113 degrees outside at noon? So what happened was a whole body just melted off. Right? It's gone because of the Phoenix heat. Anyway.
Or your whole body turned green, but just your body.
So you're saying that my body turned into Crypto Hulk?
Shots fired.
Andrew, oh my God. Nice one.
We're talking Caspa with a K, Andrew. I've never heard of Caspa with a C.
Oh, he's talking about Casper with the
C.
Yeah. People do that a lot.
Tin says, I held Caspa last cycle and never sold because people said it would go to it. Yeah, a lot of people, including myself, thought Caspa could get close to $1. Went from 80K back to 16K. Now I'm starting all over. I personally, and this is just my own humble opinion, I believe Caspa can see new all-time highs this cycle. That's just my opinion.
I think with Caspa, we have to remember, we have to treat this different than almost every other cryptocurrency out there, because it is a proof of work, fair launch network. So we don't get the VC backing like Canton or like the XRPs, etc. It being a proof of work network, meaning you have to have a hardware miner and then you have to use electricity to be able to get the tokens, and most of it being in circulation. I think the only thing that would make it fail at this point are two things. You got adoption. So if you don't get the ETFs, if you don't get the institutions behind it, it's probably going to fail. And that's with any crypto. But then also the halving. So the halving is every year as opposed to Bitcoin's 4. So by 2035, all tokens are in circulation. And that it could be a little too aggressive for a proof of work network. So I do think that this next bull market, Caspa, it's either going to do very well. Hopefully it does go to $1, or it's going to fail, and it's tough to say that because I'm becoming one of the biggest faces on YouTube pushing Caspa, but I'm also realistic about it. Like, there are some things that we have to figure out.
I'm glad you brought some of that up. Some of you guys now used to mine Caspa, especially when Wolfix was alive. And, one of the things that we discovered in the process of doing that whole thing was, again, back to what Crux was talking about. So you have a full halving that happens once a year, but actually you have these little halvings that happen every month, right? And to lead up to that full year. So when you're mining the rewards, it's just, it gets pretty brutal, especially when it reaches that full 1 year mark. And I think that happens, if I'm not mistaken, it's like in August. So I think the next big halving is just right around the corner next month, unless something changed.
Yeah, there's something else in kind of what Crux talked about there that I wanted to touch on. And I've been trying to talk about this a little bit more because people need to understand that there's a lot of risk in any altcoin you're buying, regardless of how good things look with partnerships, collaborations, announcements, upgrades, whatever the case might be. Doesn't matter what project, from Ethereum all the way down to whatever your favorite small cap altcoin is, right? And there's something else that people really need to wrap their minds around, and this is, I found, was a problem in the last cycle. Let's say you have 10 projects in your portfolio throughout the course of this cycle. Okay, at least 2 of those projects are going to flop. You need to understand that. You need to accept that not every project you pick or you get into is going to be a winner. No one bats 1,000, not me, not anybody, right? As long as you got to focus on the 8 that aren't flops, because I saw that a lot in the last cycle. People made like a ton of money on XCN, for example, tons of money in my group anyway, and then they would have another project that flops, and then they're actually angry. I'm like, okay, but understand that you made a ton of money on XCN. You can't think that every project you get into is going to go to the moon. Some of them are going to do bad. You have to accept that now. And
that's the power of the diversification that we were talking about earlier, right? Yeah. So that's no knock on the person earlier. We love and appreciate you, man. Where you're talking about, I think it was Caspa and one other project, and then Crux was saying, hey, you got to be diversified. That's a perfect example why you need some of that diversification, because people don't realize when a project hits, it doesn't necessarily will hit the same time as the other ones hit, right? Sometimes people reference like even the ISO 222 compliant ones. It's like not all of those necessarily hit at the same time. Sometimes that happens, but then you have this example that Rob just gave you. So that's a super chat over on CoinVault. Go ahead.
Yeah, before I get to that, I just wanted to kind of put an exclamation point on this, and that Terra Luna is a perfect example. I had 10, maybe 11, 12 projects in my portfolio at that time, and I was fairly spread out evenly across all of my projects. And when Luna crashed the way that it did, I had a lot of money in that, and it went down to a few cents, right? But within a few weeks, maybe I'm remembering wrong, maybe it was a month or two, my portfolio had rebalanced because of profits from my other projects, right? But there was a lot of people who were all in on Luna who got absolutely destroyed because they did not diversify. And again, Cadena is another good example. I remember there was a content creator, I watched him a few times. He was talking about Cadena. And every single time I watched one of his videos or lives, he was telling everybody that was on there, you don't need to buy anything on Solana. Only projects you need to buy are stuff in the Cadena ecosystem. Just Cadena is all you need. And it's like, man, did people probably get destroyed on that? You gotta diversify.
Yeah, I actually talked to Scott earlier a little bit before we went and did the interview, and he is quickly becoming like the face of Canton on YouTube in a sense. And it's kind of like, getting people's take, especially with like Solana, XRP, and these other ones, it's always good, especially if they're talking positively about multiple projects and they are the face of a project, then you can usually take their advice their suggestions better. So I do think like Scott, for example, he likes certain projects like a Solana, for example, and he wouldn't tell you to only buy Canton. But if a specific creator is telling you to only buy one project, you should definitely, it's a red flag.
He's becoming the face of Canton. It's not Luis. Oh, I'm sorry, Lewis. I am absolutely shocked.
I thought it was Paul Barron, wasn't it?
Oh.
See what I did there?
Lewis says for everybody to embrace the tribalism. Anyway.
I think that
Bitcoin maxis are the worst. These guys, they're like, yeah.
The intellectual dishonesty it takes to be a Bitcoin maxi is just off the charts, in my opinion.
That's why I can't respect Michael Saylor, because he never truly switched. He doesn't care about anything else.
Well, that's the thing. When I heard him talking in Vegas at the Bitcoin conference, I remember standing there thinking, man, it's really true. If you hear him talk once about Bitcoin, you've heard every speech he's ever given, essentially, right? Like
there's nothing. It turns into a physics thing, like due to the gravity of the moon, and then Earth is 8.2 meters per second squared in downward gravity pressure, and then this thing called energy is tokenized. Like, come on, dude. Like, it's not that complicated.
Yeah, and going back to the divisiveness or the maximalism in crypto, I've said this before. I used to feel like the accredited investor program was a bunch of malarkey, right? They said the reason for it was that the average retail investor was not mature enough to invest in pre-IPO stocks because of the volatility involved, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever, man. That's just rich people trying to stay rich, right? It's scam, right? But then I got into crypto, and I started following, crypto YouTube, crypto X, and stuff like that. And I can honestly say, in my opinion, they are absolutely wholeheartedly correct that the average retail investor is not emotionally and mentally mature enough for high volatility assets. Holy smokes. Right? The divisiveness alone, half the time we act like we're in a high school girl's locker room. It's insane to me that someone can hold up two projects that are maybe somewhat similar, both can make you a ton of money, and argue over which one's better.
Right. I mean, you think about it, like, let's just do two that we did today. You got XDC and you got XCN. Like, I don't know which one's going to outperform what. They both have potential. But if somebody's like, you can only get XDC, well, what about this other project that has potential? There's a lot of projects in crypto that have potential.
Yeah. Can I make money on it? Okay, I want it. That's as far as it goes for me, right? Does it have utility? Is it good? What's a tokenomics? What's it look like?
Right. It's a horse in the race. Get exposure, have fun. Strap in for 3 years.
I guess I'm not an or guy. I'm an and guy. So that's just how I roll. Exit Flip says, do you think the market will sleep on machine-to-machine AI payments becoming an IT real-world crypto use case?
I'd like to chime in on this. So I'm
Yep.
going to do that. So yeah, and in fact, I did a video about this. It's exclusively on Maximus Crypto. It was released yesterday. Hardly anybody cared about it. Why? It's Jasmy. My analytics, as well as Rob's, show that most people don't give a crap about Jasmy anymore. They gave up on Jasmy, clearly. But guess what? I'm going to still cover it because I still believe in the use case. So one of the things I highlighted in my video was that in the year 2028, apparently with the PS6, PlayStation 6, I know a lot of you guys aren't gamers, and that's okay, but it's going to go fully digital. And what I mean by that is physical disc, you won't even have a drive on it, right? So with that said, it sucks for PlayStation gamers and whatnot, right? That are old school like myself, that love that nostalgia, like popping an old disc or where the case be, or even a physical disc that's for the native console, so like a PS6 disc. So that will be out. That's going to be done. So it's bad for gamers, but it's great for Junction and Jasmy holders. And I get really deep in that because of what you just mentioned in your super chat of the machine-to-machine AI payments. So the highlight of the video, just to give a little bit of an answer, but you guys should watch the video. I go really, really deep in it, is we have heard the narrative, even though this is not really part of our outline today, I'll just be quick about it. We heard the narrative that Jasmy is the Bitcoin in Japan because it's the first to be regulatory compliant in Japan. But now we have more solidification that it truly is the Bitcoin in Japan. How so? It's going to enable so many people to be able to mine just that, like their PlayStation, right? And then getting rewards. What kind of rewards you're going to get? You're going to get rewards in JCT. Okay, but what about Jasmy? I'm into Jasmy. Well, you have to create a personal data locker. That does require some Jasmy. So the two go hand in hand. I get really deep into that, and I do believe that the market is truly sleeping on it. Is the market going to pump right now and line it? No, but these infrastructures are truly built for the future. And again, even just from a Sony PlayStation 6, how many millions of people are going to be coming into the space? So that alone is one sector. That doesn't even count the multi-millions and millions and millions of use cases of Internet of Things, IoT, there is out there. And I don't care if I get 500 views or 5,000 views. I'm not going to shut up about Jasmy, but my analytics show nobody cares.
You know what? I want to piggyback off of that real quick, Rue. Sorry. Because there was something else I talked about yesterday in regards to data and Jasmy and the PDL and stuff. And that is that, I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but Delta has announced that they're going to be using AI moving forward to price their tickets. And what that means is that essentially their AI agents are going to be able to, when you go online to buy a ticket, their AI agent goes, checks your socials and stuff like that. If you're in a pinch, if you had a family member that died and you got to fly across the country to a funeral or something like that, you're paying more for your ticket because they know you have to go, right? Your data is not protected at all. And that's why something like the PDL, Jasmy, and the ownership and sovereignty of your data is so important. And people always say to me, well, what's going to make people like these companies want to buy data? This, and I've said this 100 times, the market already exists. Meta, Google, Amazon, where do you think they're selling your data right now? This market already exists. Your data is already being sold. Why do you think when you're sitting around your phone, you got a Facebook app on your phone or something, and you're talking about something? Well, why do you think ads start popping up on your phone? Because, you know, like it's all marketing. They're buying this data for marketing purposes to target their demographics. People have no idea how valuable just the little habits and things that they do on a daily basis are to these companies that they want to use to target you to put ads in front of your face.
Yeah, remember 2 years ago when there was sorry, Rue, I'm so sorry. Just real quick. 2 years ago, well, we're on the subject. 2 years ago, we found out from the Jasmy Anniversary X event. Remember, Dip Metaverse, he pointed out, as well as Brian and some others, that medical data alone was worth at that time 2 years ago, on average, about $500 to $550 annually, and that's just from medical data. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, add millions and millions of people to that, and other forms of data sets outside of medical. I mean, come on.
No, it's all good, guys, because I was going to go in a little bit of different direction. We've been talking about this on my Patreon ad nauseum too, but in the whole realm of agentic AI with machine payments and agentic AI to agentic AI payments, I think that's really something that people are sleeping on. It's really what's going to take and make the best use of this new technology, because the AI agents don't sleep. They don't have to, take a bath, eat crap. They're full time, 24/7 using the technology, right? So when you look at all the different robots we've had, the Neo robot is already out somewhere, I think in Dubai. The Optimus robot that Tesla's working on, where like they gotten it so like the fingers are almost like real human fingers now. Like I mentioned, the Neo again, they could do like small household chores and all of that right now. It's not too long until we got robots functioning like Rosie from the Jetsons, where they're watching kids and, and now you can just pay $20,000 for something to watch your kids, right? Not that you would probably want that, but you could. So that
some people use their TVs to watch their kids.
Exactly. So that along with agentic AI and what's going on with X402, I think is a big untapped thing, and we talk about that really intensely in the Patreon.
It's funny. I get people they'll say in my comments, sorry,
you're good.
We're all jumping over each other. They point out like when we did our X402, I think it was either on your channel when we did exclusive route, or maybe it was on mine. It doesn't matter. But they point out like, well, where can I buy X402? And I respond to the guy. I meant this in all sincerity and not trying to be a jerk or anything. I was like, that's like saying, where can I buy email? It's a protocol, So, but these are very important protocols. And this is a very old protocol that up until now hasn't really been able to leverage its original use case until now, right? What was another common thing that we reference a lot when it comes to old technologies that date back, believe it or not, to the 1960s, that the concept was there, but you didn't have the technology to do that. SDRs, right? Special drawing rights. There is SDRs out there currently speaking, but there wasn't electronic ones, an ESDR. So when we reference X402, again, it's like, geez, the thing was made in the 1980s, and now we're just getting around to finally having technology that would leverage that use case. And that's a huge use case, and it is one of the most important things in all of blockchain and DLT that doesn't get discussed enough.
Indeed. And I think what people are missing is there's the machine payments protocol that's built on top of X402, designed specifically by Tempo and Stripe and Visa, in which they can use just card payments. So that opens up everything, right? And I think people are very much sleeping on it. And I think it's going to bring so much liquidity into crypto. And I think some of it is going to go into certain tokens. And, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, so Bitcoin became the biggest cryptocurrency because of peer-to-peer. Like I could send my value to you, and you can send it back without the need of a third party. At this point, like I'm thinking way bigger. So I think Rue, you definitely hit the nail on the head right there, because we're creating agentic economies, and it's like, well, we got 3 point whatever billion people here on Earth. That is a fixed supply. Well, it is a supply that can only be fixed by the limit or the capacity of Earth. But how much could be stored on these networks? Infinite, really. So at this point, it's like Binance, you're doing like 30 billion a month in trading volume. The biggest perp dex, Hyperliquid's probably doing about 10 billion. So those are like kind of like your two metas right now with humans interacting with each other. But at some point, we're going to have like 10 times the amount of humans in AI agents that are trading. And this is going to pump up the price of cryptocurrencies, because what could these AI agents do? They could actually buy bodies. So just like you brought up robots, if I'm an AI agent, I'm like, how do I use this money? Well, I could attach myself to a robot. And I know this sounds super dystopic, but Elon Musk himself, he talked about them possibly being more robots in the world than humans. So it sounds very crazy, but I think like we are going to fabricate economies digitally, and it's happening soon.
I need to buy a body because mine melted earlier from this Phoenix heat. So that's why I'm floating head right now. So clearly.
It's an AI agent that's controlling Max, y'all.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right.
It's a prototype. Yeah.
Ben says Maxis are only good for pets. There you go. Panama City says, guys, what do you think about Luna Classic now?
We're really behind on super chats, aren't we?
No, we're caught up.
All right, cool. I still hold Luna Classic. I'll state this. I mean, it was glorious on KuCoin, right? You know, I mean, my God, I mean, I would stake it on there, and oh my gosh, I think at one point I walked away from, you know, with like 3 million in Luna Classic on there for like a total of 20 million Luna Classic. Start off with like 15 million. Those days are long gone, but I mean, I hold it for the what ifs, you know, and you never know. But I will state this. I don't normally do this. All right. There's all of the Luna Classic influencers out there, and then there is Happy Caddy Crypto. If you want to be caught up on the most recent news that really matters when it comes to Luna Classic, that guy from the beginning and still to this day is your guy. That guy is the most well-informed when it comes to Luna Classic. And oh my gosh, that's the guy. Seriously, like, yeah, I just gave him an endorsement. He's the guy to follow when it comes to Luna Classic, if that's your thing.
I think Bleaves knows a lot about it too. But
Happy Caddy Crypto, he's in a league of his own when it comes to Luna Classic. Anyway, I don't normally do that, but there you go.
Anybody else got any thoughts on Luna Classic?
I'd stay away, honestly. So, like Do Kwon, the founder, he's clearly a felon. He was actually on the run for a while. They caught him. You know, like, I invest in visionaries. I invest in founders. Can an ecosystem thrive without a founder? Of course it can. But I don't think, like, in this day and age, a lot of institutions are going to flood a lot of big capital into these things. And for that reason, I'm out. Had to do the Shark Tank. For that reason, I'm out.
Nice.
Yeah.
See what you did there.
For me, I lost a lot of money on Luna, Terra Luna, like I had mentioned.
I did, yeah.
And I don't go back to a well like that after getting burned on a project once. That's one side of it. However, the positive is it has a massive community behind it. And let's be honest, it's a meme coin now, right? At the end of the day. But it does have a massive community. It does go on significant runs and stuff like that. So I do believe that there is money to be made in the project. But I'm going to have to go with Crux on this and do the Shark Tank and say, for me, it's a no.
Yeah, I still hold a lot of that. I won't disclose how much that is, but I kind of keep it for that what if. And I pay attention to people like, you know, what Happy Caddy shares, because he gets really into technical stuff, and he shares like some things that most people don't really or haven't really shared. So anyway, enough of my endorsement of Happy Caddy.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Holding a project like that, I mean, there's lots of projects you could hold. And just don't make it into your top 5, guys. That's
kind of like Ethereum Classic 2.0. Like, if you're willing to hold Ethereum Classic, then you might as well hold Luna Classic as well. So
it's like that one project, Zora, like basically, or Sora
Mitsu.
Yeah. So it's like those are like lotto tickets. That's what I say with my crowd. It's like, okay, if you put like $100 in there and you just lose that lotto ticket, it doesn't really matter, right? But
it sucks because when they even that example, when they went to the new token or whatever, the V3 or 4, I don't even know where they're at on Sora, but it was like a 1,000 to 1 ratio, like, you know, like, geez, really? So all those people are like, I'm gonna come and FOMO into this and just buy a hordes amount of this. You just trade it 1,000 to 1. That sucks.
Yeah,
you know, that sucks with a capital S. I don't care. It could be any project. That's anyway.
Well, I mean, and then we got Akita Inu, 991. Wait,
you're using the wrong crypto bubbles, man. Don't listen to that.
$991 billion market cap. Look at it. It shows on Crypto Bubbles. That's what it shows. 990. Yeah.
Akita Inu.
Yeah. Look at it. It clearly. This is clearly.
It's probably a hacked website.
So
I'd be careful. Don't
this
get
is something that happens quite a bit when you're aggregating data from coinmarketcap.com. Just giving you a heads up. So there's examples of this happening in the past, and also Coinbase Wallet does this a lot, right? I'll never forget. Shout out to a lot of you guys who used to hold like Shinobi back in the day, right? I went on my Coinbase Wallet and it told me that I was richer than Bill Gates, and I was like, wow, this is. And I was like, but this doesn't. Scam. This is nonsense, right? And it's just like, well, let's look at the total value lock. Let's look at the liquidity, and it's just like, this thing's glitched out and stuff. That's why I don't get too crazy with the XRP glitches. I know a lot of people do that too. I basically ask, okay, where are you aggregating that data from? Because if it's from Coinbase Wallet or CMC, then it's like, yeah. But I will state this. I mean, we could analyze it since you got the chart up. We said we wouldn't share anything on the screen. I guess never mind on that. But nonetheless, we can go to CoinGecko, and would CoinGecko verify the same thing? So it's always good to get more than one source.
CoinGecko says of 301,737 dollar market cap. So.
And not only that, it's the old contract. They do that all the time. Whenever you reference an old contract like that, this is something that we used to do really like in the early days of Maximus Crypto. We used to go and like do kind of like an audit of some of these, meme coins and whatnot. But yeah, when they move from one token to the other, it makes it creates like the euphoria, like, oh my gosh, man, like this is the greatest thing in the world. I'm like filthy rich, and it's like, no, you're not. There's no liquidity there. So anyway.
Yeah, and also like hopping from one coin to coin. This is the craziest fact out there. Like name one coin that has hop from one ticker to another. I would say Render is probably going from RNDR to RENDER on the Solana network is like probably the closest that has survived, but everything that has rebranded has died. So that's like,
well,
okay. So ZEBEC, what was it at first?
Was it ZEC or something like that?
ZBCN,
okay, yes,
and what's
right,
ZBCN.
So we're about to see going
there,
to the
there's some
market.
there are some exceptions. There are some exceptions, but I will agree with our friend here, Jesse of KIR Finance. He said, like, for example, what was it, Fetch, and then you had the
merger, ASI.
Yeah, all three of those projects individually, there was so much that was there, right? But when they did that merge, I do agree with Jesse. It was like there now you have too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Anyway.
Yeah. See, you can only have one seat. Like you could have a CEO and like I guess a co-founder or whatever, or a founder, co-founder. You could have a CEO, whatever. But like you can't have like all these just brilliant minds, like the guy from what was it? AGI, I think AGIX, Gretzel or whatever, and then you try to pair him with this other like brilliant cryptographer, and it's like you guys are going to butt heads and something's going to get screwed up. You need one visionary that is ahead of everybody and just follow this dude.
Well, that's exactly what happened, right? Ocean Protocol left, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So they're the first group of the three to leave, and then you got Fetch, and then you have the AGIX.
Yeah, SingularityNet and Fetch, I believe. Right?
I made a killing on SingularityNet back in the day, man.
I did too. Yeah.
It had a good run last cycle.
Oh man, it was in a league of its own. And then what they were doing with like the actual, like they were doing what Elon Musk and the optimism stuff. They were doing that long before they rolled out all those announcements. Like I honestly kind of wish they just would have done their own thing. And I remember that was one of the most unique projects that was in the Cardano ecosystem, right?
Yep.
Anyway.
I remember thinking like when I heard that the SingularityNet was merging with them, Ocean and Fetch, I was like, why? Like SingularityNet's doing great on its own. What? Like,
yeah. I mean, it was such a big headline though. I think almost everybody in crypto is happy about it. It's just now we have so much data that shows like anytime you merge with brilliant people, like this super protocol, like super intelligence, whatever you want to call it, it just buzzwords. That's what it was. And it failed. So
I think that's why usually when you see mergers and acquisitions take place in like stocks, for example, usually you'll see the head of one of the companies that's merging take a buyout and leave for that exact reason, right?
Yeah.
So, but Anyway, guys, that about wraps it up for the stream. We're at an hour and 50 minutes. It was a good one. We had a good talk today, guys. I really enjoyed this. It flew by.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. Flew
Yeah.
by fast. Wow. Yeah.
We didn't get into the heavy
Groovy.
nitty gritty of
Yeah.
and talking about this whole thing of obviously was it Swift and the so-called built blockchain. No, it's not Linea or any of that nonsense, but maybe I'll cover it on my own.
So yeah, real quick with that. So like 2 years ago or something where Linea got a partnership with somebody really big. I forgot who it was.
Consensus.
It was
So you're talking about?
Consensus.
Supposedly Swift, like, and Joe Lubin came out like, "Oh, Linea, we're using Linea," and
Yeah.
everybody took that to mean that XRP was dead, and Linea proceeded to like lose like 95 or 90% of its value.
Well, you're right. It is Swift, but there's the as far as like people wondering what blockchain or what's already out there. There was Consensus was referenced, but the new announcement. So the pilot basically finished today in regard to when they originally announced all about the early stages of like the Swift blockchain, not SWFT, right? We're talking about the classic Swift messaging. But yeah, they concluded the MVP pilot phase that wrapped up today. And a lot of people were wondering like, okay, well, what's going on? Is it doom and gloom for XRP? But maybe we'll talk about that some other time. We ran out of time, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to start doing more live streams a week or something. I don't know. Something we'll talk about backstage at another time.
I do no more live streams per week. You guys could do that, man. I got other stuff I got to do.
I do one per week, but I'm jumping on tons of different channels. So yeah, I do a lot now.
Looks like it's up to you, Rue. It's
Yeah,
all
man.
on you, buddy.
No, somebody has to do it.
I already busted out a lot of crypto content to begin with. My God, I mean, I'm not trying to make this 24/7, 365.
Right.
Some people think I am, but I'm not.
Oh man. All right, guys. Well, listen, everybody who came out, supported the channel, all the super chats, all that stuff, guys. You know what? Again, our humblest appreciation for that, because it keeps us motivated to continue to do these, and to continue doing what we're doing. I mean, we love having these conversations with you guys. We love you guys being a part of the conversation. So thank you so much. On behalf of myself, I know that the rest of these guys don't appreciate anything you guys do. No.
Hey. That's a
Just
good
like
way to close it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Papa Doc. What you gonna do?
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm putting cases on all.
I just want to throw it out just real quick, guys. Please, we said a lot of people don't care about Jasmine. You may care about Jasmine tomorrow. I have an exclusive that's coming out on Maximus Crypto. I have a white paper. You need to see, Jasmine in the Abyss. That sounds insane, don't it? You need to see that video. Anyway.
Absolutely, man. Final thoughts, Crux? What do you got going on this week, man?
Well, I just dropped a video with Max, actually, and it's about XRP, Quant, HBAR, and XLM. So if you have any of those projects, make sure you check it out. I just got done interviewing Scott from Longview Compute. So, he's been on CoinVault. He's definitely one of our friends. He's growing in the space as well. So if you hold Canton, be on the lookout next week. So my channel, I've been focusing a lot on interactive activities like building portfolios, finding those top 5 picks that you should be holding, and just having fun, so check out the Crux of Crypto.
I'll say this, Crux, man, you got the best darn editor in all of crypto, man. I mean,
yeah,
that was his videos are so top notch. I mean, I thought I was good at editing. I'm not even a drop in the bucket compared to what you guys got over there between you and your partner Tim. So
absolutely, man, absolutely. Yeah, guys, go sub over to Crux of Crypto. I'm subbed. That means you should be subbed. If you're not, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Right? So you're doing crypto wrong at this point. All right, guys. That's it for us. We'll see you on Monday.
Peace.
God bless.
Peace.